Mr. Svecla, thank you for having us here at the police station in southern Mitrovica.
Hvala vama što ste me pozvali na intervju.
Why are we here? Why we are not conducting the interview in northern police station in Mitrovica?
Well, it's a matter of organizers. As far as it concerns me, it can be done wherever, whenever you want, within the territory of Republic of Kosovo.
You're very often guest, actually a host. That's how you present your statuses, especially on Facebook. Almost every week you visit the north of Kosovo.
Well, I tend to be a person of direct contacts with people, with staff, with institutions. Of course, for northern municipalities in Kosovo are a concern, security concern in actuality. It takes a huge amount of my time, but also my team. And this is why I am everywhere, in Pristina, in other municipalities, and of course in north of Kosovo too.
You said that the contacts with people are very much important for you, and one of the reasons why are you visiting the north. However, the situation is rather different. So I have to ask you, you are one of the most favorite minister here in the region of South Mitrovica. However, you are one of the, if not the most, disliked Kosovo official when it comes to the community in the north. Are you happy with this?
Well, first of all, I would like to clarify what is the community and this stance, where it comes from. I meet a lot of local Serbs. Unfortunately, because of the pressure that they feel, very often these meetings are not public.
Who are they?
Well,
not identity, but who are those people?
Ordinary people, officials of different levels, NGOs. So it is different people. I sometimes meet them randomly, sometimes meet them purposely, but I meet people. I could say I fairly good speak Serbian language, so I can have direct contacts without translators, without intermediators, which is one of my goals, to understand their problems, their worries, their requests, their opinions. Sometimes we disagree.
What are they telling you? It's a quite soft word to say that you are not popular in the north. Very uncountrry. Sorry for using that word, yes. But you are, as I said, extremely disliked Kosovo official. Are they telling you that?
No, I don't get that impression. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there is a skepticism in the first contacts. But whenever we have a chance to chat, to discuss, to go through issues, then you can see that actually some of the opinions are based on rumors, based on propaganda. Of course, from Belgrade, I'm portrayed as someone who is against Serbian people, who is against Serbia, who is against Serbian interests. Well, I'm not against Serbian people, absolutely not. I am against chauvinistic projects of Serbia. I'm against injustices, against oppression. In the past, we were oppressed. Right now, ordinary people in these areas are oppressed. I can see it. There are evidences, there are numbers, statistics. So very often people that I meet, they're grateful for what we did. Sometimes they question or our motives are unclear for them. Mm-hmm. But I reassure them, and I can reassure the Serbian community in Kosovo that the government of Kosovo, nor Prime Minister, nor me, are not against the Serbian community. We are against criminals, regardless of ethnicity, especially because they're mixed always. So whenever we do an activity, or police does activity, it's a more or less mixed background, ethnic background of people that are targeted. But some see it in this way, some portray it in this way, and then it looks like it's targeted someone specifically. When we target smuggling, for example, usually it's 50-50, sometimes even more Albanians involved into smuggling than Serbs. But nobody's mentioning that we're targeting Albanians too, or we're
We've mentioned,
punishing.
for instance, sorry for interrupting you, during the fall 2021, during this very unfortunate police operation in the north of Mitrovica and other municipalities, but also municipalities in the south, if I can recall, of some 20 people, majority of them were Albanians. So for instance, throughout the day, we've reported that, and there were other media who correctly reported, and this was one of the very, very rare opportunity, in my opinion, that Kosovo police immediately, from media point of view, institutionally handled the crisis in a, I would say, more accurate way, immediately delivering press conferences, announcing, etc. But that's something rather in my 2-3 years experience following how institutions are communicating from a media point of view, rather an exception than the case.
Well, if you're talking about being efficient into fighting different kind of propagandas, sometimes we fail. Sometimes we fail. We are witnessing different situation, and then it's portrayed different situation, then institutions react too late. In this, I could agree. In terms of informing the public what is going on, we use all the channels that we can use. So either it is press conferences or press releases or postings or whichever channel is possible, we do use. Our intention is that we inform the public. Our intention is also that the public is informed that all the steps that institutions take are legally based and are not directed against ordinary people. They are directed against criminals or extremists who use violence.
You said that sometimes institutions are late, but you are not the person that anyone can say that you are late in reactions. Quite the opposite. As if by rule, at least for months, you are the first person to report on police achievements or operations or actions, specifically when it comes to the north of Kosovo, 4 northern municipalities. Mr. Minister, why are you taking this job of police of Kosovo? Why, for instance, the northern police region is not the first one to report on the cases? Why police of Kosovo has to wait for you to report on these achievements and to be the very first, even on Facebook?
Well, I would disagree. That is not very accurate.
I can prove the other one.
Well, very often police goes with information. What my intention is to clarify any misleadings or misinformation because of this huge cacophony that you have within so many media outlets. So my intention is information to be as accurate as possible, as fast as possible, so we prevent any misuse of situations. So when you read my postings, they are, of course, political because I'm a politician. They are always accurate. I don't use propaganda or I don't mislead the public. And also, it is a prevention that somebody, the other sides, misinform the public. Of course, this is always done in coordination with the Office for Media, and I think it is a right path to inform the people from the first hand.
If you analyze your own Facebook posts for
Yes.
months, and there are dozens of them, and there are arguments, here I have some articles published from our website, but they are based upon the facts from your Facebook post. One thing is in common, there is like this presumption of innocence disappeared from this Facebook post. It looks like you don't know what is presumption of innocence, because you immediately, when you publish, are labeling people as criminals, even not using the suspect. The first time that I've noticed, after many months of your Facebook post, that you used the very specific word suspect was on 21st of June, when there was a Serb guy arrested in Gračanica on the allegations on the war crime. But take, for instance, the handling of the crisis in the north. Whenever you inform the public, and I'm telling you, you were the first, you can check that very easily. You didn't use the word suspect, you used the specific word criminals, fascist militia. You immediately said that he was guilty for concrete criminal deeds. You revealed the identity of person, showing their photographs, showing their full name and family names. Do you think this is not propaganda? Do you think this is accurate?
No, it is accurate because it's based on facts. Now, there are sites who want to portray some criminals, very known criminals, as ordinary citizens, but that's not. Let me be clear. My job, my belief, my everyday doing is to ensure that the rule of law prevails, that fight against organized crime and corruption is effective. Whenever there are doubts about activities or people, I don't go public at all. But nobody can say that some individuals who has 18 penal offenses is not a criminal. And I'm not talking about ordinary violations. I'm talking about senior penal offenses. I think there are times when things has to be said as they are. Let prosecution, police do legal things. But this government won majority of votes with a plan to fight organized crime and corruption as a first priority. And when I'm saying this, please understand, I'm talking about whole out territory of Republic of Kosovo, everyone within Republic of Kosovo.
Still, I have to notice two things. Even if you are talking about a person with, I don't know, dozens of criminal file record, do you think this is part of justified approach and protection of institutions of Kosovo if you go on your social network account and you reveal full name, all identity credential with photographs and with labels, this is criminal, while still there is no even official procedure launched talking of judiciary immediately upon the arrest of a certain person.
When you have, we had a case in Ferizaj. One youngster, man, killed a young woman. He had 136 penal offenses.
I know the case, and I know what you wrote.
I cannot talk about him as a decent citizen. He's a criminal.
But he has rights.
Absolutely, absolutely, he has rights. And these rights are going to be respected. His rights should not be violated, absolutely not.
Part of his rights are protection of his privacy.
But, no. Officially, when they're known, when they're public, I mean, everybody knows about whom we're talking, then it's a different thing.
Mr. Minister, still, if you, and I do that, when someone analyzes your Facebook profile, somehow, almost 100% of your Facebook posts are about Serbian criminals in the north. You are not saying, I'm telling you that you are picking up the north. It can be that you're not, why don't you use, of course I'm not supporting the other way, but while using these very firm, not allegations, claims when it comes to criminals in the north, why don't you use the other way around?
I do.
Very few of them. It looks like the only crime is in the north.
Well, I fully disagree with you.
It doesn't look that way in your Facebook profile.
I fully disagree with you, and you can see it in my public addressings. I think majority of criminals are in Pristina.
It doesn't look that way.
No, absolutely. No. And I say that publicly. And it's not because people in Pristina are worse than people in, I don't know, any other municipality, but it is bigger, more capital, more.
This is what the Prime Minister actually said, Mr. Kurti, when during his first government, when he disagreed to launch a special police operation in the north, when during that time Mr. Hoti was requesting him. This is very specific words.
No, but we believe in this. So we are, if you see the statistics, we are working and having results all around Kosovo. All around Kosovo. We are not looking at his ethnical background of anyone or choosing this case and leaving this case aside. Yes, right now we are talking about 4 municipalities in the north and the situation which aggravated lately. It's more serious.
So you agree that the situation aggravated in the north?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after the attack in KFOR soldiers, where we had more than 70 KFOR soldiers wounded, the situation aggravated. We don't have the same situation in other municipalities. Mm-hmm. Like we had 96 attacks in the north to the institutions or to officials.
For which period?
Well, from 2021 to 2023.
I think we reported that 23.
Yeah. So 27 police officers were wounded in this period. 33 cars damaged.
We were reporting on the cars.
3 totally burned of the police. We had 3 vehicles, EULEX vehicles, KFOR vehicles damaged too. So it's not the same situation. We acknowledge this. This is why we have to take some extra measures. But I'm not saying that people in this area or people in that area are better and worse. No, I'm saying that We have problems with criminals. We have problems with violent extremists. This is a different thing.
To stay just a little bit more with this kind of media campaign, you acknowledge that the situation is different in the northern municipalities, that there is an ongoing crisis, is an obvious. Why also you published videos on these some of those deeds that you mentioned? For instance, we had a recent case on attacks against 2 police cars in the in the vicinity of the municipality in North Mitrovica, and you published the video with very, if I can describe it, exciting music. Why do you have to contribute to the drama by making videos with very loud and very striking and exciting music? And it's not the first time. There were a couple of them. If you want, I can play.
Actually, I don't deal with media
Do you
background.
think that helps the crisis?
No, what I think that helps to solve the crisis is to strictly work for a rule of law and to divide criminals from ordinary people.
How do you think, for instance, how do you think people react when, or I react as a journalist? If I go and I want to get the information and I see your information on the attacks against police cars close to North Mitrovica municipality, and there is a video with footages, but then these footages are directed with this kind of drama film music. Why?
Well, I don't know this drama film music. How do you portray this?
I have to play.
What I'm saying is very simple. There are so many people engaged into hard work of maintaining stability, security for everyone, and of course we should acknowledge this contribution. As I said, there are 27 police officers who were attacked. Absolutely, I acknowledge their contribution, that we have more safe surrounding, and people have an address where to go and ask for support if they feel unsafe and unsecure. This is extremely important.
Do you acknowledge, speaking of safety, to switch a little bit to the police work, do you acknowledge general feeling of population, not only criminals as you say, but it cannot be that the entire community in the north together, both Serbs and Albanians, but majority are Serbians? We talk roughly about maybe 40 to 50,000 of people. Do you acknowledge that the majority of population feels extremely insecure with many things, including very heavy presence of special forces?
Well, first of all, I don't have that impression.
That's why I'm asking you.
No, I don't have that impression. As you said...
What impression do you have?
Well, yes, there is a sense of insecurity because people don't know the future. People cannot see next day what a group, what a side will take a decision for. As far as our concern is that we are here to support every legally every legitimate request of the citizens toward institutions, to make sure that they have institutional support, that they have an address where they can report cases, and based on the statistics, within the same period from before and now, we had 49 cases in 6 months of 2021, before the resignation of...
49 cases of what?
Of reports towards police.
That was before Serbs
yes.
Left the institutions.
And then in the same period we had 47 cases. I can provide you with the statistics.
Yes, you're right. People clearly, in the north, I can confirm that people clearly, at least in the beginning, they separated the issue of regular policing or regular police troops from what is seen as special forces. Unfortunately, throughout the months, even this optimism and these good trends that people started reporting cases, that people started mixing police. I will ask you here two questions. One, when you are using statistics, if you can provide us with statistics, how many regular police troops are currently in 4 northern stations? And how many special police units, troops we are talking about? That's one question on statistics.
Well, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. It is a matter of evaluation of professional structures.
Where can we get this information?
Well, you can ask Kosovo police for this, but it's not up to me.
You as minister, you don't know, even for your own analysis, current numbers of regular police?
Of course, I receive reports of police.
So what can you tell us?
I receive reports of the police with analysis.
If it's not confidential data.
But these reports are based on facts and, of course, on perceptions, on analysis.
Is the data on regular police public? I mean, is that confidential or not?
Well, I don't know. This is matter of police. What is my job is that I make sure that they have all the support needed, that based on their evaluation, they successfully fulfill their constitutional obligations. This is as precise as I can tell you.
So for both units, for special troops and for regular?
Kosovo has one police.
Mm-hmm. But different units?
Absolutely. And it's a matter of Kosovo police to decide which unit they use for which case.
So it's up to them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, it's up to them. When they have information that certain activity has a certain level of risk, they decide which units they want to use. You cannot send traffic police in an activity when you discover weapons. You remember it was, I think, August 2021. I can be wrong. Don't.
Before the crisis in Jarinje and Brnjak.
There was an ordinary activity in North Mitrovica where a pharmacy was being.
There were several of them.
Controlled, and then there was this massive attack on the ordinary police and tax and custom officials. Special, not special unit, but rapid response. The rapid response team had to intervene.
But
police officers were in a plain clothes.
I have to tell you, I've spoken with police officers in the northern station, both Serbs and Albanians. After they were extremely. I talked to the rapid unit from North police stations. They were extremely unhappy because, and it was not the first time. Back at that time, they complained very often that they, as were not trusted, I'm using their word, by Pristina. They were often ignored when police operations were launched in Mitrovica, and they complained for that specific event that they were trapped. This was the term they told me off the record.
Well,
that they were trapped,
and
that can be easily seen because they were without protection, these bulletproof vests, or without helmets. A rapid unit. They were caught in the riots without full protection.
No, but why the riot started?
I'm telling you that they were not informed about the action.
Not all the units of police, in my best understanding, are informed about everything. Let's discuss one of the latest ones. In one of the arrests, then we had a traffic police escaping with a car from the attacks of the extremists. There are footages.
You're talking
The car-
about which one, Svecla?
No, well, now I don't. I'm talking North Mitrovica. So the car was attacked harshly with police officers, ordinary police officers. They didn't know a police activity of another unit. So it is normal. It is normal that a certain unit of police does an activity. It doesn't have to inform every other police officer. What economy crime unit was doing is an activity that this unit does on 100 different places throughout Kosovo. And now they were confronted with harsh attack. So what is then the message? Should we, in every ordinary activity, send special units with armored vehicles, with helmet and bulletproof vest, or should we continue ordinary activities? Because when we did ordinary activities, then was a complaint that we were not informed, the special unit. When the special unit is informed, then the complaint comes, why you use special units for ordinary activities?
Mr. Svecla, you, as you said, you're a politician.
This is what I want to say. Let it to the police decide about it. Not as me as politician, you as a journalist, or any other.
Okay, I'm asking
Let
you
it
now
be
as a
to the
politician.
professionals.
I'm asking you as a politician, as someone who is most exposed in visiting police units in the north. This is the reason why I'm asking you. So, do you not notice, as someone who is very often in the north, that currently, for months, special police units are most exposed, most visible, far more visible than regular police units? Now, we understand the situation that there is majority of police troops. We are talking about some 400 Serbian who left. So there are two questions here. Do you agree with this fact that special police units are far more visible throughout all northern Kosovo than regular police units? Wherever you travel, in between the municipalities, but also within the municipalities, I myself witness that every day, wherever I go. I see far more special units for months than I see regular police units.
Well, I work very closely with police, and very often I cannot distinguish what is the special unit.
I can, because
no,
you also
well,
were raised.
let me finish.
Let
me
but
finish.
you also can do that.
Let me finish. So, very often I cannot. Why? Because you see a police officer with bulletproof vest in an ordinary car, or you see a police officer without
but they are at least
vest.
rapid units.
Well, of course there are rapid units because of
This is also kind of
No,
special.
because
it's not
no, every region has a rapid
but it's
response
special
units.
force.
No, it's not special force. This is what I'm saying. It's not a special force. It's a rapid.
How do you call it? It's rapid, but is that a
No,
very
no.
regular police officer on the street?
Well, you have community-based policing and you have police, but also you have special units.
Yes, that's something
So,
different.
You have special units sometimes, you have rapid response teams sometimes, yes. Or you have ordinary station police. It's different units. Sometimes I don't distinguish. But we need to be clear on one thing. Every single police officer, every single unit is to serve and protect. It's not to oppress. It's not to oppress.
That's not the feeling of the community.
No, well, police has to take measures to defend itself not from the citizens, but from the criminals.
Okay.
So the community acknowledges this. They tell me directly, because whenever there is an anarchy, a lack of rule of law, who prevails in that community? Well, it's not the ones who read books. It's the ones who go in kickboxing trainings. This is the nature of a community where you don't have a rule of law, when you don't have mechanisms that impose the law under which our lives are regulated.
Mr. Svecla, my nephew is kickboxer and he reads books.
So generalizations should not be done. What I'm saying is, as an examples, what I'm saying is, unfortunately, we had, I think, 2 cases where, or 3 to be more precise, where police are suspected of overusing their authority.
This was the guy who was in South Mitrovica station. And,
Absolutely, absolutely.
What
And
happened to the case?
Police officer is suspended.
So he's still suspended?
Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, he cannot be a police officer. Of course, there are professional institutions who will deal with it.
But he's still suspended?
Absolutely.
And
all the other 4 are suspended.
They're still suspended?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So there is investigation going on about the beating of a youngster with this motocross, or how you call it.
We're talking about the guy who is arrested and who had this black bag over his head, that case.
Well, we talked first about this case.
And the other 4 on Bistrica Bridge.
They're also suspended. We're talking about 3rd case. The case where 2 youngsters complained that they were beaten by the police because they were stopped with these
yes, I know,
motorbikes with 4 wheels.
Yes.
Police Inspectorate is obliged to investigate every complaint that we get from anyone addressed to police. And we are very harsh on this. We are very harsh. We are very strict.
I don't know if you've seen recent report of Serbian liaison officer in Pristina, Dejan Pavicevic. He made this report on visiting 5 arrested Serbs. All 5 of them were arrested during this ongoing crisis. I will ask you specifically about some of them. As far as I can recall, 4 of them were reportedly beaten. Not only when they were arrested, if they offered the resistance, but also later on during the investigation. That's how the report says, that they were also beaten and tortured with visible wounds. Also, international report that followed after that confirmed some of these allegations. I want to ask you about, like, general answer. Is that correct or not?
I know him personally. He's one person, Serbian official, who does constant propaganda through lies. And we can go through case by case from the moment he came in the surface through so-called office for coordination office for Kosovo and Metohija until today. Just let me finish my opinion. No, yes, of course, we will go there. So anyway, every claim that we receive is investigated by Kosovo police from any side, in cooperation with international missions in Kosovo. Today I met head of EULEX, I have very
The
good...
new one.
New one. I had very good cooperation with the old one. I asked them, him and Com K4, that please monitor our police and behavior of our police, because at least what you can do is be a witness of good or bad behavior of police. And in the case of the second one, bad behavior, I use police inspectorate to make sure that truth is unrevealed and the justice prevails. I don't spare any official for their wrongdoing. But of course, there is a huge propaganda coming from Serbia.
Let's clear that,
and
this
it's
propaganda.
Absolutely. Well, this is what we do. For example, inter-ethnic incidents that they report. Vast majority of it, it's false news, or it's deviation, or the motive is not inter-ethnic at all. Of course, sometimes you have inter-ethnic incidents, because we are multi-ethnic society. We are multi-ethnic society.
It's not. It's 95-6% of Kosovo is Albanian, so it cannot be multi-ethnic society.
Well, no. Well,
20, with all minorities, it's 20, 90, 94.
Our flag
but
has
94,
6.
93 is majority.
Exactly. Our flag is
I know, but,
six
but
stars.
In reality,
So
this is
in
not
reality,
multi-ethnic
no, it is. I think I
north
feel
of
it.
Kosovo can be,
I
but
feel
other
it-
than that,
No, well, north of Kosovo and south of Kosovo, they have the same percentages.
very small.
But in different
It's
numbers.
not now. It used to be.
But you cannot use this kind of propaganda constantly and expect that this propaganda doesn't give discomfort to citizens.
So let's please clear
So
this
we
propaganda
are-
for these
we-
5
yes.
people.
Well, of course, I don't.
One question.
There is police inspectorate. There is a police investigation concerning all the allegations.
What do you know
I can
about
vouch,
these 5 cases?
What I can vouch is that all the outcome of these investigations are going to be addressed properly based on rule of law. Every citizen has its rights. Even criminals, when they are arrested, they have their human rights.
But that's why I asked you
And
about Facebook.
exactly,
You're not showing
exactly.
this.
No, absolutely. No. I do show this. I do show
The
this.
way you write,
No, I do show this. Torture, humiliation is prohibited by our constitution. So it's not acceptable for us.
you reported that it's true when there was this Serb arrested, one of the latest arrested Serbs with this black bag. It is true, it is correct that you also publish on your Facebook that it's unacceptable behavior.
No, absolutely.
I acknowledge that.
But this we do always. I don't see people through ethnic lenses. I see people through what they do. In reality, I see teacher, doctor, I see a professional, I see a decent person, I see a criminal, I see someone who works for benefit of the society, someone who doesn't. This is the categories.
So you consider these allegations in this report about 2 accusations that 4 out of 5 have visible injuries, and that 4 complained also of ethnic offenses while they were inspected. So you consider this is lie.
No, I'm not saying it's lie.
You say that
what I'm saying,
police inspectorate is
absolutely,
Okay.
Investigates it.
What I can confirm is that we spoke to the lawyer of the guy. I will not say his name. It's his initials are D.O. These were the two people that were arrested by KFOR on 29th of May during the clash, but before the clash. And there are TV footages showing the very moment when the two of them are arrested. They were sitting on the ground, exposing very passive resistance. The lawyer of one of them, one has been released in the meantime, who is not tortured as per his claims, but the other one, the lawyer told us immediately that he was literally destroyed as he was beaten. If that proves as true, do you consider that can damage the, let's say, image of police?
Well, I can tell you straight away, every bad behavior of an official damages the image of that institution. So every bad behavior of police officer damages the image of police. This is why we are very strict with police. Police Inspectorate is fully engaged, as I said, in every complaint. And they have my full support to independently investigate and come to conclusions and take measures. In this process, they are monitored by EULEX, different other missions, embassies, and based on the acknowledgements of international missions, Police Inspectorate does a very good job, independent job.
I had one personal case with Police Inspectorate. My experience was not as such.
Well, I can go through that too, but
I pushed the case very much. It was the time
it
when
was
I was
the
arrested.
case when you were running.
I was not running. I was just arrested.
Well, as I was told, you were jogging, or so misinformation then, or another case.
Because
case with
I was
somebody
in
else.
sport clothes, and that was a fake news that I was running. I was not.
So
and that can easily.
you see how
was fake news.
is very easily to fall into the fake news.
Can I?
What I'm saying is this: let's all of us do our best to fulfill its obligations, and our obligations are very clear: to lead this country toward becoming part of European Union as a democratic and developed country. This is our mission. This is our agenda. We don't have hidden agendas. This is it. European integration, Euro-Atlantic integration for all of our citizens, for whole Kosovo.
Why didn't you communicate to the community in the north throughout the months before Serbs left northern police stations at the time when special forces were fortifying themselves in the north? There were months of ignorance. The first fear amongst the population arose not due to the propaganda, but because landowner in Zubin Potok was seeing special police troops fortifying in the front, let's say in front of his house, asking questions, both his Serbian politicians, local leadership, Srpska Lista, asking Belgrade, asking through us as journalists, police. No one answered them for months up until the intensification of crisis in October and November last year. And we are talking about February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September was the first moment when someone addressed this issue.
Well, that's not true. From the first moment, institutions were talking with owners of the land. We should not forget that this is a matter of national security. But with the owners of the land, from the first moment, people, not from my ministry, but from the ministry of...
In what way, with this expropriation issue that we had as it was happening throughout the months?
This is, everything is done by the law. Every step is done based on the law.
There are other claims, Mr. Minister.
Well, I can tell you that every step is done by the law. We are not violating any laws. Every step is done by the law. Local owners were identified straight away, and there was a dialogue with them.
We filmed them, they claim differently.
Well,
but it's another issue.
well,
we can leave it now.
I can vouch that the owners were contacted and informed about.
Retroactively.
No. The very same time, they were informed individually. Then collectively there were meetings, but individually they were informed straight away from respective institutions about what is happening with their property. Everything based on the law. Everything based on the law.
We went live. We had this kind of hearing, public hearing that came retroactively, but that's really another issue. I still have two more questions.
There are legal steps that need to be taken.
There are legal steps taken retroactively,
yes.
But as far as I understand, this is where it will go to the court. As far as I understood the whole case.
Absolutely.
You're talking about rule of law all the time. You mentioned attacks against ULEX. You mentioned that you've spoken to the new commander. What about your own respect for the institutions in your past? You were the one amongst, I think, 27 members of Vetven dossier who at least twice were charged for the attacks for hooliganism in participation of violent protests. What happens with those cases?
Well,
I know that they are by
activity,
time out.
No. My activity.
And you were not a boy.
No, absolutely.
Back at that time.
No. My activity was always public.
Yes, of course.
No. Well, it
but
was.
Do you think it's legal?
Well, it was legitimate. It was based on my belief. I addressed our concerns. Yes, sometimes there were violation of the law in these activities.
Quite oftentimes violation.
No. It was resistance without using violation against people.
But
everything
against
is
property.
public. Everything is
Okay.
public.
And
of course there are court processes, which I'm part of it, and I paid some of my dues.
You even didn't show up in the court?
No, very often I showed up in the court. Sometimes I cannot.
When you showed up, then your friends didn't show up. When your associates
some of
show
the
up,
processes,
you didn't.
some
and
of
then
the
the
processes,
judge separated the cases, and then the time last month. When was it? The case is off because it's an old case.
Well, it is a matter of court processes to organize as best as they can. I cannot talk about others. I'm a public figure. I have an address. I show up. I respect the court and the judge.
Do you have any guilt of conscience, or do you think this is ethically acceptable? You're now a minister. You're talking about rule of law. However, you're telling me now that you have your beliefs. You resist it. It's very legitimate. So, if I understand correctly, it's legitimate that throughout the years, Vetven dossier used Molotov cocktail against the government of Kosovo, against the police in Pristina.
No, sorry, don't mix things.
Okay.
Don't mix things.
But
I never used weapons. I used tear gas. And it's questionable, is it a weapon or not? As far as I'm concerned, it's not.
You turn upside down ULEX cars. Is that?
Well, that's not weapons.
That's not weapon. So
no, of course not. No.
So
as I said,
you call fascist militia Serbs in the.
No. Sorry,
criminals, you said.
I never called fascist militia Serbs.
Okay, okay. What is fascist militia?
Sorry, you
Who
will
is
never,
fascist militia in
you
the
will
north?
never, you will never.
I will never hear. You're right.
A word.
You're right.
Bad word about Serbs from
Okay.
me.
What is
Or
fascist
from
militia?
government officials.
What is fascist militia? Who are they?
Well, these are violent extremist groups who are attacking everyone that disagrees with them politically,
Okay.
who are harming citizens. You know how many cars of civilians were burned in the north
We are
because they disobeyed unlawful order.
Our car was set on fire.
So
we are the only
so-
media who have very specific. You can use our data. It's updated regularly. It's about 100 cars that have been torched throughout the years with all the details that was used from police and from media.
Those who burn cars of others because of disbelief.
Yes. Now, please.
Then this is the difference.
Please, throughout the years, how would you call it? We said that fascist militia is a group that use violent means politically harming others. Vetvendosie,
Endangering, killing. Yes.
Vetvendosie, throughout the years, including the closest leadership together with you and Mr. Prime Minister, throughout the years, there were violent protests as if by rules. Please just don't interrupt me. I'll mention a couple of cases. Using the tear gas inside the assembly. Using Molotov cocktails on numerous occasions, including attacking the government building. Molotov cocktails thrown at the police building in Pristina. Using huge stones, even bricks, against Kosovo police, against international police. There were numerous of these cases. We also had the killings and sufferings of members of Vetvendosie, Monbalje, and not to mention even that. So how would you call, because all of those violent protests and attacks happen on the matter of political beliefs? How would you call that?
No, well, there is a difference. There is huge difference.
Trucks upside down.
There is a huge difference between organizing purposely violent resistance, and there is a difference on resisting when you're a victim.
Please
explain. Yes, you mentioned two of our activists who were killed in one
by
of
Romanian
the special police. Well, even UNMIK said that they were not guilty, that these killings were unjustified
but as
and
leaders,
unnecessary.
are you responsible for these victims?
No, I'm not responsible for the police that shot and killed two of our activists. Well, UNMIK said that the protest was not violent. So
there are video footages.
No, but if UNMIK in the report says, if UNMIK in the report says that they made a mistake, that they are guilty for killing of our two activists, you cannot say that it is our responsibility.
But we see
it is public.
We saw violence.
No, but it is a public report. Please go and read it.
But what about other violent? We saw
violence. Well,
and you
we never
targeted.
We never targeted anyone, any people in our activities.
So you think if you don't target people and you destroy property, this is not targeting?
Well, no, and not private property. We never targeted anyone privately.
It's someone's property, Mr. Minister.
No, it was a property of ULEX, a mission.
It's EU property.
Yes. We showed discontent with unlawful decision of EULEX at that time, head of the EULEX. So I'm not saying that, yes, this is fully in line with the law.
It's not in line with the law.
But it was absolutely in line with the belief of majority
Attacking
of
the
people.
government building.
No. I'm
Molotov
not
cocktail at
talking.
the government
I'm not
building.
talking about it. As I said, I never used weapons. We never did.
What is
organize.
Molotov cocktail?
Well, I never used Molotov cocktail.
Veteran dossier used Molotov
No.
cocktail. There are footages.
No. Protesters did. But
Last
not
questions.
us. Yes.
I think we are about the same age. We're both from Kosovo. Throughout the years, we've been seeing, more than half of our lives, we've been seeing special police units around us. Throughout the 80s, there were federal special police troops, at least for a decade here in Kosovo, since 1981, let's say, up until the arrival of Milosevic. We've been seeing special police with Milosevic in 90s. No one better than Kosovo Albanians can speak of the bitterness and hardness throughout that decade. And now we are entering the second year. It will be full almost second year with special police troops in the north. Do you think these pictures are pleasant?
Well, no, of course not. The pictures are not pleasant. But please don't mix different realities. Police as an institution now is to serve and protect.
This is what federal police was saying. This is what Milosevic was saying.
Well, yes, true. But what was Milosevic doing and what our police is doing?
Absolutely known. The truth is known. That's
So
why I'm asking you.
No, but is it the same?
If you ask the northern community with all propaganda in Belgrade, and I do agree. I do agree.
Please,
because as a
I'm
journalist,
very
my
open.
job is to deconstruct propaganda.
But I'm very open. I'm very honest in my discussion with
But
you.
if
So
you talk to
please don't go into propaganda.
Yes,
what
if
we
you
are
talk
talking
to ordinary people, my 83-year-old father, who is an educated man, has been all the time in his opposition to federal, to Milosevic. He's not seeing special police troops as someone who protects the law, and he doesn't fall under propaganda. He wakes up every morning in the center of Mitrovica, and almost every day he sees special police troops, and he's not happy with that.
Well, in constant times, we had attacks in these areas of ordinary citizens. Ordinary citizens. People would walk in that street and you would see some others approaching and beating them just because they're not from there or they're not Serbs. Is it true? So there was this planned and executed plan to divide societies. So
Are you helping to bring the communities together, or you're deepening the gap?
No. We're working on it. We're working on it to make these communities closer. But you cannot make them closer if there's no...
The results are not as such, Mr. Minister.
Well, you cannot expect the results straight away. What I'm saying is this. Existence of a police in certain places is a guarantee that the rule of law prevails. What kind of police is there? It depends from the situation and evaluation of the police, not on wishes of someone. Of course, it's not a pleasant picture. It's not, but let's see results. Because you were talking about special police of Milosevic. Federal, and you're talking about now this special police. Can we go back into statistics a bit? So we deconstruct, as you said, the propaganda. From Milosevic special units, we had thousands civilians killed. Thousands.
don't you?
No, but
Let's not hope this will happen now.
no, absolutely not. No, this is my job is to make sure that this doesn't happen. Nobody's planning to do it. Nobody thinks.
People are fleeing from the north. I
No,
know
well-
families who are terrified and they're fleeing, and they have no criminal
Well, they should
background.
not. They
have
should
no
not.
criminal
Well,
background.
no, but nobody should flee from
But
their homes.
that's what is happening.
No, but then let's work that this propaganda that Belgrade is spreading is not successful. Nobody from institutions of Kosovo ever propagated anything against Serbian citizens. Kosovo citizens, from Serbian nationality. Nobody. Nobody is attacking someone just because he's Serb. In these 2 years, we mentioned 3 cases, for which 2 we already have results, and for the 3rd we're working. You know, these kind of cases happened on hourly basis in the past toward Albanian community. Precisely as you said, we know how is to be oppressed. Our goal, our aim is not to oppress others.
Many have different feeling now, unfortunately.
Well, this is the propaganda. If we arrest a criminal, then they want to put a surname on it. Serbian, Albanian, Turk, Bosniak. There's no surname. A criminal is a criminal. My job is to make sure that the rule of law prevails. The role of police is to identify and arrest everyone who violates the law. Now, you know very well, because of lack of rule of law, smuggling of different kind of narcotics, even cultivating or synthesizing narcotics in this area, because it was a black hole for rule of law. Absolutely unacceptable. What is Vučić complaining? That we closed illegal roads. He's saying it publicly. He's saying like they are obstructing freedom of movement. We are not obstructing freedom of movement. We are blocking illegal roads that smugglers used to smuggle narcotics or people to the north and smuggle illegal goods to the south.
Even with Vučić as such, do you think it is to calm down the crisis when you write about him, Vučić is a chronic liar? Is this okay?
No, but he is a chronic liar.
But do you think that
No,
that helps to use these specific words?
Well, what I think that helps is that we have to see the truth in the eyes.
With using chronic liar?
Well, I'm not inventing anything. He is, every time that he goes and addresses the public, 50% of what he says is a lie.
Could
Everyone
you put that in
acknowledge-
different wording?
Okay, you're a journalist, find me another word for a lie.
I'm not going to write you anything.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm very straightforward. I'm very straightforward.
Me as well.
Truth is a truth. Lie is a lie. Violation is a violation. And we don't escape from that. For us, for all democratic world, or majority of the democratic world, we are independent and sovereign country. So everyone that acknowledges this, acknowledges that we have the most democratic constitution also, that provides extra safeties for minorities. As you said, in numbers, more than 90% of people of Kosovo are Albanians. Legally speaking, but also how we feel is that this is multi-ethnic society.
Legally, yes, but in practice it shows differently.
Well, no, in practice also it shows a different picture from what you're saying. Of course we have problems. Of course we have issues. Of course. Look, it's not that in other matters there's no problems at all. No. But I think living together, we need to share the same problems that we have. We need to share good and bad. Just like in marriage. Now, we cannot expect that, yes, majority have so much problems, but minority should not have a problem at all. It's unrealistic. Yes, I don't have problem of supporting minorities extra with positive discrimination, with extra attention. I think, and we didn't talk about a lot, I think that there should be more investments in a daily life and daily work of people in these 4 northern municipalities. I think people should be more supportive in daily life. But this has also one precondition, factual, on the ground precondition, that we need to have a secure environment for that. That people, ordinary people that think about how they wake up in the morning, how they educate their children, how they make them healthy and themselves healthy, how they see the prosperity and progressiveness in their family, in their community, in their village and towns. I think this is important to understand and then to contribute into that with different kind of projects. But what we had in the past is all the money poured in this area from Pristina, from international organizations, even from Belgrade, was stolen from us.
To the capitals.
Was stolen from certain circle of people. So the help didn't go to the ordinary citizen, to the farmer, to a teacher, to a doctor, to entrepreneur. No. Most of it was kept to a certain circle. And of course, this is not acceptable. This is what we are fighting. Not only on these 4 northern municipalities, everywhere throughout Kosovo. This is what we're fighting. This is why we have this resistance also. This is why we have resistance of criminal groups from closing illegal roads, because they were getting extra profit and masking it. No, well, and they were masking it with nationalistic colors. Actually, it was their interests. Criminals from both sides, they were cooperating very good.
Everyone knows that.
But yes, and the very same criminals, then their activity, they tend to portray it with nationalistic colors. Now the biggest criminals, you have the biggest patriots also. Well, we need to stop with that. What we need is attention to ordinary citizen, attention to normal way of living, supporting these categories, and of course fighting the other categories.
So
and this work is acknowledged in all the reports, international reports, that were published about Kosovo in last 2 years. We are leading in the region for rule of law, for freedom of speech, for freedom of media, for development. We are leading. Yes, we are a young country with lots of problems, but we are moving forward fast. And of course, some circles, they don't like this because they had extremely luxury life in the past on an account of ordinary citizens, on an account of prosperity of this country. This, I think, is the real struggle. These are the real problems that we're facing. And of course, they don't go and say, oh, I want to be allowed to smuggle, even though Vučić says it openly. He's propagating these illegal routes. You know that based on Brussels agreement, we should have opened a third border crossing in the north, Izvor, and we are ready to do it. Serbia is not willing to do it. So Serbia is obstacle that people from local communities move more freely. No, they want as less freedom of movement as more illegal crossings. They want this. Aleksandar Jablanović was arrested 3 days ago for illegal crossing the border. And he said, oh, I didn't know that. It is illegal. Come on.
I let you to speak a bit more. I have lots of questions, but we have to stop.
As you can see, I'm very open
yes,
into...
I would had lots of counter questions. Gospodin Svecla, hvala vam što ste govorili za Kosev. Hvala vam što ste bili spremni da pričate na srpskom.
Apsolutno.
Ovaj intervju vodili smo na engleskom zato što smo mi procenili da ćete vi da se prijatnije osjećate zbog jezika.
Prijatnije ne, nego efikasnije, da vam kažem. Inače, nemam problema da pričam i srpski jezik. Ponekad neku reč trebam malo više da razmislim, da nađem adekvatnu reč. Inače, ja komuniciram i na srpskom bez ikakvog problema ili bez ikakvog osjećaja nelagodnosti.
Hvala vam još jednom što ste govorili za Kosev.
Hvala vam za poziv.